I'm Angus from Cracka Wines. Today, it's Friday.
It is Friday.
It's Friday afternoon, which means one thing, no spittoon.
No spittoon.
So here we are. We're very lucky. We have here some of the fine wines from Ben Glaetzer. The
some heavy
Bishop,
hitters.
Annapurna, and Ayman Ra. And now, I've got to be honest.
You can't pronounce Annapurna.
I know, I can't. But the thing is, look, these are wines you just don't see every day.
No.
They are, a lot of people, want to know what they think about these wines because they don't get to taste them. So Andrew and I are going to give the lowdown on the 2010 Glaetzer wines. Andy, the Glaetzer style.
Rich, full,
and it's certainly...
beastly.
And beastly, nice word. The thing is, it's probably a bit of a controversial style.
Yeah.
Look, it's a modern, ripe, big bone, ballsy, steak and chips kind of style.
Yeah.
It works for some people, doesn't work for others.
Yeah.
But I think you can't fault the generosity of wines like this. You can't fault, if you want a big, ripe mouthful of fruit, this is one of your go-to kind of wineries. And you can really appreciate them from that, from that side, I think.
Yeah, in that paradigm of that more modern Barossa style. I mean, the biggest criticism of wines like these is always, hey, it's been levelled at the Parker-styled, very ripe, and really too overt frame that lots of people rebelled over.
That's right. I mean, when we're just having the Bishop, which is the cheaper of the three, and it's just... I mean, Parker will wet himself over this kind of
Doesn't
wine.
taste them anymore, though.
No.
Unless they're Proddy Brown does.
But they, they are, it's the kind of style you'd love. 2010, really smart Barossa vintage. I mean, the Barossans, considering what's happened in 2011, they'll be very happy that this vintage came along.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a reasonably sized vintage. And very high quality vintage as well. And
high quality.
And you really see that in this Bishop, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest criticism that you're going to have against a wine like this is that they're alcoholic, rich, and quite intense wines. I mean, you're looking at all three of these wines weighed at 15%, which for many people automatically cancels it out. On the flip side, if you are looking for a wine that's like, yes, this tastes like Barossa Red, you can't really go any further. No. And the packaging also, I mean, the packaging on these is absolutely top notch.
A1. And the bottles, I mean, I was trying to do a couple of curls with these before. I couldn't do one.
But look at those curly arms, though.
I couldn't curl them. Two at the same time, impossible. But I actually really like that wine. I like its generosity. I like its, no uncompromising style.
Yeah.
And it's got length to it too. It's got genuine length, genuine fruit.
Yeah.
If you like the style.
And that's the thing. Look, if you like the style. For many ways, I can say from a pure perspective of like, okay, from a wine style and trying to make it within this style, you're like, A1, great. But for me personally, I can't finish it. And that's what it comes down to.
Let's see how we go with Annapurna.
Now, I actually normally prefer this wine of these wines. I find that the Cabernet in this...
Because the Shiraz Cabernet.
Well, exactly. The Cabernet in this tends to fill it out a little bit more.
Classic Australian blend.
Oh, exactly right. And a much unappreciated blend to add that.
Much unappreciated.
Yeah, and I'll look, this is the wine, this used to be the Go Dolphin. I love Go Dolphin. And
what happened to Go Dolphin?
I think it was something about dolphins. They couldn't put on the label anymore.
Really? Those environmentalists, they can be
very exactly right.
sensitive bunch.
So yeah, and I think that probably of the three, this is actually the one that I tend to find that is more sitting with me.
But just Cabernet gives it something, doesn't it?
It does.
Cabernet gives it perfume.
Absolutely. In the Barossa, it's such an unappreciated grape in the Barossa. Good Barossa Cabernet is the shizzle.
Signature, Grange, obviously, bin 60s, blah, blah, blah. There's plenty of good wine around.
A much more complete one. Whereas this is obviously, you can really taste the alcohol and the burn and the warmth in this.
Cabernet holds the alcohol, doesn't it?
It does exactly right. There's just this real...
American oak?
Oh, yeah, American oak for sure.
Yeah. I reckon there's some in there. There's a bit of coconut.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Bit of coconut.
It's just nice to see. This actually feels just a lot more... It almost feels like there's a lot more to it. This is almost like, hey, how you going? I'm a Shiraz. But when you actually dig a little bit further down, there's not quite as much a depth to it.
Quite silky. It's a pretty nice balance in the mouth. Like
much prefer this.
It's got a lot of fruit character, but when you get it in the mouth, like you kind of expect it to be bigger than it is, and then the mouth it's quite silky and
Yeah, definitely.
there's some cedriness, I reckon, in there. There's plenty of
I could drink
cassis
this,
for it in there.
and there right off is the main. It's an easy difference.
Yeah.
I could drink this quite easily.
Yeah,
So
fair whack of oak though.
it is a fair whack of it, and again, it's all about that style.
Yeah.
And look, well, obviously you can sort of say, hey, I hate this style of wine, or you love it. It's one of those really divisive styles, and again, it's something you either ascribe to or not. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, indeed.
And finally, we're going to Amon Ra,
Amon Ra.
which we're trying to work out with some sort of god.
I'm sure it's a god.
Yeah. And obviously, this is a
not the
godlike
Cracka
bottle.
man,
No, it's a godlike bottle, as we can also see too.
This
It's a pretty godlike looking cork as well, on that manner. And this is the top of the tree,
Yep.
if you like.
I remember trying to sell this years ago, and I could never get a 6-pack from the distributor. It was in, it was out, it disappeared. You were lucky to get a bottle out of them.
Well, and it smells pretty sexy too.
Bit of Frenchy.
Yeah. Again, this is 15% alcohol. So again, you're talking about a full-on style.
Really old vine character though, I reckon.
Yeah, there's a real depth and intensity to this. And I don't actually notice straight off the alcohol pointing out as it did on that one.
The Bishop did. The 15.1%, you could feel it in every cell in your body, really. Whereas they're all 15.1.
This looks actually the alcohol hides the best in this wine. And I reckon that the old vine character you're talking about there is a real...
Yeah.
It's something you
it's
really
that leathery,
notice.
savoury, leathery kind of character. It's not just sweet fruit. There's just this additional kind of interest that you get from old vine character.
Very much so.
And it kind of... I mean, the thing about old vines is you've got these big roots, so when it gets really hot or it's a warm vintage, those roots, they still are deep enough. They've got plenty of access to water, so the skins never get desiccated. You've always got kind of plump grapes. I mean, that's where the wines like, Grange and Illa Grace, etc., that old wine character is a key to it.
And I reckon in the Barossa, I always describe it as very much when you're going towards a black fruit character. There's a real savoury black fruit character, and you notice in some of the wines, like when I started tasting this, the first thing I thought of was actually a little bit signature. Actually, that's a wine that reminded me of that a little bit, and also the Langmill Freedom. Langmill Freedom actually is another wine style that automatically that popped in my head when I started to think about that. But that's a little bit more. This is even flashier. This is even sexier. This is Langmill, but wearing even sexier jackets.
It is actually sexy. Is actually quite a nice way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's actually in the mouth. It's it's no bloody sow's ear.
No.
It's silky, Pinot like satiny kind of texture. I mean, I normally don't get in for much wine wank, but this wine actually has some really beautiful texture, length to it. Probably longevity in it as well. Beautiful, but I don't know. It's pretty good now.
So, well, the question then, Angus, is okay. So, of the three, which one do you prefer?
Look, I actually do like the Amon Ra best.
Yeah.
I think it's got some savouriness to it that and the length also. It's almost some wines have such great length you swallow them and they don't seem to move. They sit in your mouth. You can just taste them for minutes and minutes and minutes, and they evolve in your mouth. And I'm really seeing this, and to be honest, doesn't happen that often where it really sits there. It's almost like a cement truck. You can't move it. It just sits there, and that is just not moving at all.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to give it the second taste test just to make sure it's doing what it does.
I agree. Look, the Amon Ra is just a whole other level compared to the other two. And of these three, the only one, the Bishop, is not one that I really like. Whereas the other two, I was like, yeah, straight off, I can see the value in many ways of the style and what's being put out.
And it's seductive too. You can just see that wine on a wine list just seducing everyone who drinks it.
Yeah, very
like
much
nectar.
so.
I mean, I promised a staff member, she was going to take it home tonight, but I'm not sure we can do that. I think it may get finished here. There is the slightest of porty edges to it.
And that's the biggest criticism that you can normally have across these three wines.
I'm really getting this. It's been there and it's lovely and it's not in your face. And some people would add complexity from a technical perspective. I think there's just a slight baggy fruit character.
Yeah, I think so too. There's just that slightest edge of
But it's still
desiccation.
beautiful, though.
And again, it's because you're looking for that pursuit of a style. So as a result, the grapes are really pushed to the absolute, like the maximum flavour they possibly can.
Now Andrew Grave is known as being one of the hard bastards of point scoring, in Australian wine.
Yeah.
Point miser. He's been called a lot of names by some of Australia's good winemakers. Question is, on the AG scale,
Yeah.
how do you say?
Look, this is probably like an 88 or an 89.
I knew you'd be under 90.
This is probably like a 92, and this would be a 93 or 94. 93 or 94. Yeah, 93 for me.
I think that's pretty fair. I mean, but I think, there is a modern style of the Barossa.
Yep.
Ben does it bloody well.
Very much so.
And, if you're into it, you're going to probably wet yourselves over these
The question, though, is, Angus, would you buy any?
Would I buy any? I could be tempted.
And
I could be tempted because they are, if I had a tourist coming in who wanted to be pure, blown away by pure, essency modern Shiraz, I'd probably find it hard to find a better example.
Yeah, okay. So on the flip side, I actually don't think I would buy any of these. There's just that little extra edge of alcohol that, to me, I would be putting question marks about how it's going to go as it gets a bit older. And I think I like that little bit of extra restraint that you would see. I brought up the signature before in some of those Yalumba wines, where they're only 13.5%. You don't taste alcohol at any time. And I think that extra level of balance makes for something that I personally enjoy more.
I mean, we've gone on a bit. It's been a bit of a long video. We're just going to sit back, have a glass, Friday afternoon, enjoy, cheers. Thank you.